All right, so today we're jumping into a story that starts with what sounds like a great idea, a cure for teenage exhaustion, but quickly spirals into this crazy battle for personal freedom. It's a really fascinating case study on corporate ambition, addiction, and what happens when a solution might actually be way worse than the problem.
The whole story really kicks off with this one simple question. Just imagine, what if there was a way to just get rid of that constant, nagging exhaustion? A quick fix. But what if it came with a hidden cost? Something you didn't see coming? What price would be too high to pay?
So, let's meet our main player, a student named Diesel. And this one quote tells you pretty much everything you need to know about him. He doesn't just call his plan a good business idea, he calls it a humanitarian mission. You know, when someone wraps their money-making scheme in the language of saving the world, that's a pretty big red flag.
Okay, so what is this so-called mission? Well, it all starts with a problem that's actually very real, but the solution they cook up reveals a pretty unsettling way of looking at the world.
So the whole thing kicks off with a problem that's actually, super real. Teenagers' bodies are just wired differently. Their natural sleep cycles make them want to stay up late and wake up late. But the world doesn't work that way, right? School starts early, jobs start early. It's this total mismatch between biology and society that Diesel decides he's going to fix.
And here's his big, bold plan. He doesn't just call it teenagers being tired. No, he calls it a closed-lid epidemic, a crisis that needs mandatory medical intervention. His solution? It's intense. A stimulant injection in the morning to force everyone to be awake and focused, and then another injection at night. He calls it a seditious jab to knock them out. The goal is to literally train their brains to run on adult time. But right away, another student, Evelyn, throws out the counter-argument. And this really sets up the central fight of the whole story. Is discipline something you build from the inside out through hard work? Or is it something you can just buy in a bottle? It's this classic clash between natural strength and an artificial fix.
So how does a plan this wild actually get turned into school policy? Well, the way it happens is honestly even crazier than the idea itself. First things first, they give it this super soothing, kind of scientific-sounding name, melatoning. I mean, the branding is just brilliant. It sounds safe, it sounds helpful. But let's be real, it's a relaxative, a sedative. It's a chemical designed to force your body's rhythm to change, whether it wants to or not.
And get this is how they get it approved. Not through some big debate or scientific review. No, they hold an unannounced school board meeting at midnight, on Christmas Eve. Seriously, only 3 members show up, just enough for a quorum, and with a quick, silent vote, it's done. The whole thing is passed without anyone really knowing it was even happening.
And just like that, with that one quick vote, the school completely changes. It's not really just a place for learning anymore. It's a marketplace. And the students, they're now a captive audience, a guaranteed customer for this new product.
Okay, so the students aren't just going to take this lying down. They fight back. And what happens next is this brilliant twist, where their big victory gets turned into something way, way worse.
And their resistance is pretty smart, actually. It's not just holding up signs. A kid named Evan comes up with this awesome, low-tech solution to a high-tech problem. He makes these metal arm guards and covers them in foam. They fool the AI robots that give the injections, causing their needles to break. It works so well that the school has to start excusing all the armored students. So you'd think, great, the kids won, right? The media's on their side. The injections aren't working. But this is where the story gets really clever. This wasn't Diesel backing down. Not at all. It was all part of the plan. It was a strategic pivot.
I mean, just look at how this plays out. It's a masterclass of manipulation. First, he makes a big show of giving in. Okay, we'll stop the injections. But then he introduces these new pro-choice drinks as an alternative for all the students who are now, surprise, dependent on the stimulants. He puts vending machines everywhere, making it super easy to get, and just like that, he's got a whole new business, selling one drink to wake you up and another to put you to sleep.
And Evan just lays it all out. He sees it for what it is. The whole mandatory injection thing, that was never the real business. It was just the setup. The addiction was the business model. They had to create the dependency first so they could sell the cure.
So, what happens when a whole school is suddenly running on this new pro-choice system? Well, now we get to see the real, devastating cost of that quick fix.
And the way Diesel talks about this process, it's bone-chilling. He actually has a term for it, liquefied brains. He doesn't see people. He sees a raw material that can be broken down with his chemicals until it's fluid enough to be reshaped into a new pattern that he controls. It's incredibly dehumanizing. And this right here just shows you the massive disconnect. On one side, you've got the official school line. Nothing to be concerned about. We don't have enough data. And on the other side, the absolute nightmare the students are actually living. Hallucinations, psychological breaks, convulsions at night. They're literally losing their grip on reality.
Wow, and this quote from Diesel is just incredible how cold it is. Gelatinous brains. He's not even seeing them as people anymore. They're just an experiment. And he has this bizarre, unscientific belief that if you just pump some full of enough of his product, he can literally rewrite their biology. So, everything is coming to a head. It's building up to this final, desperate showdown. And it's not just about a product anymore, or even about student health. It's a battle for who gets to control your own mind. It really boils down to these two completely opposite ways of looking at the world. You've got Diesel's view, which is basically, why work hard to control yourself when you can just buy the answer in a bottle? It's easy, it's predictable, and it's profitable. Then you have Evelyn's view. True mastery comes from within. Using a drug robs you of the chance to actually learn. Convenience versus character.
And the climax of all this, it's not some big fight. It's this incredibly powerful symbolic act. The students literally shatter the glass wall of the school. It's this desperate attempt to break out of the artificial bubble they've been trapped in and just let the real, messy, outside world come rushing back in. But here's the truly heartbreaking part. As this is all happening, you hear a student who's still totally hooked, completely brainwashed. They're literally cheering for the guy who did this to them, saying he helped them master their minds. It just shows you how deep the manipulation goes. They now see their addiction as a form of freedom. So, in the end, Diesel's entire empire was built on this one simple idea, pro-choice. But the story leaves us with this really unsettling question to chew on. When something is designed from the ground up to get you addicted, is it really a choice at all?